Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going live, so this is going to be a different kind of video. I'm not going to be leaving this up for long, so if you guys want to ask questions in this feed, or if you want to leave a question in the comment below, I could make sure to engage. Hi Lundy! Hello Lundy! Come here! She doesn't understand what this is. I have to go on Wi-Fi. Hey guys! Hi Chris, how are you? There's my other dog in the house. Hey guys, and welcome. I'm going to be launching a video in a couple of hours, but I wanted to kind of talk about that same video and this topic in this video because I'm actually getting like so many hate comments on one of my videos. It's just crazy. So if you guys are watching, give me a thumbs up so I know you understand that video. Because like people seem to think I'm suggesting like anorexia and like people not eating anything. Hi, person in Dubai. But that's not anything close to what I'm suggesting. I'm not actually even suggesting much to anybody in that video except sharing what I did and what worked for me, which was creating a caloric deficit. So, sorry, my hair is a little messy right now. But basically in that video, I said that my body burns about 1,400 calories at resting state. And what does that mean? Well, I actually used a calculator online called the basal metabolic rate calculator that was developed by this person years and years ago to understand how much our bodies burn at resting state. Hey! So, yeah, so it's basically like this basal metabolic rate calculator to understand how much your body burns at resting state. Then you take that number and you multiply it by a number such as 1.2 for low activity to 1.9 for high activity. Or you could just scrap that and add in the amount of calories you burn during your activity on a daily basis. You might want to factor in that 1.5 number if you are a little bit more active, have a little bit more muscle and stuff like that. But if you want to basically just understand what your base is for calorie burns based on your age, your weight, and your height, that's where you get that number from. So that's where I got that 1,400 number from. It's actually closer to like 1,350, something like that. So my body burns about 1,300, 1,350 calories at resting state. Based on my activity level, I could add somewhere between 200 and 1,000 calories to that based on what I'm doing that day. So in that video I put out, a lot of people were very angry when I was, I guess, saying that I was eating like 1,500 or 1,400 calories, and that some days I even ate like 1,200 calories. While 1,200 calories is very low, 1,400 really is not crazy compared to my basal metabolic rate, my BMR, and how much I was burning those days. I don't think a lot of people realize that I work from home, and I know a lot of people might say like they might be active during their day, or they're gonna go and they're gonna do a lot of like walking at work, or they're cleaning their houses or doing their laundry or cooking. All those things burn calories, where on a regular day for me, I'm waking up and I'm on my computer right there. Then I make a breakfast, which is just a couple minutes because it's raw vegan. Then I'm making lunch and it's a couple minutes because it's raw vegan. Like, I'm not spending hours on my feet and walking back and forth, and I'm not doing laundry every day, and I'm not cleaning the house every day. Like, I'm not extremely active, and I know that's not that great, but on a regular day I'm not very active and I work on the computer from home. Then on another day, I'll try to work in some sort of physical activity. Walking alone can burn 200 calories in an hour, maybe even a little bit less. But 200 calories is basically the average for what walking burns. So for a regular person, like these people that were commenting on this video, furious at me saying stuff like, I eat 2,400 calories a day and just to survive. And I was just like, well, how much do you burn? What do you do? And these people would say like, well, I only work out like 3 days a week. But on those other days in between, are you just laying down on the couch? Are you on your computer? Are you like just sitting still? Like, what are you doing during those days that you're burning those calories? Because I highly doubt a lot of people are doing what I do, which is working from home, because it's not a super common thing to do. Work from home on the computer and spend hours creating products and designing ad campaigns and doing all that kind of stuff. I don't know that many people that do that and not leave their house. Most people I know are extremely active even without trying. Like, for example, my fiance's mom, she wakes up at 5 o'clock, she teaches yoga classes. Sometimes she doesn't even do the yoga, but she teaches it. Then she goes on bike rides, usually does like a 20-mile bike ride every day. Then she's walking around her house, she's cleaning, she goes food shopping, she does all kinds of active stuff. Just walking alone, again, burns 200 calories in an hour. So if you're an active person, even around the house, even if you don't sit for 8 hours a day, you're burning more calories than me because I'm sitting for at least 8 hours a day. And then maybe I'm moving around a little bit, and then I'm watching Netflix or like Hulu or some of these shows. Like that's what I do. Like when I'm chilling, I like to do stuff like that. But I know a lot of people who say that they don't exercise, but they're active all day. They're walking around, they're working standing up. Like they're even people working in Trader Joe's. Like I used to work in the Gap when I was about 19 years old, and I couldn't believe how much weight I lost just by working in the Gap, eating the same food that I was eating when I wasn't working. Like I was just walking around, walking upstairs to pick stuff up, walking downstairs to put it on the floor, walking around my little area, tidying it up. I was barely even doing anything. Like it seems like a nothing day. And I kept dropping weight, and I had to eat more, and I was like, wow, I must be burning so many calories just walking for the 8-hour shift. So if I'm walking for 8 hours, burning 200 calories an hour, maybe 150, but let's say 200 for 8 hours, that's like 1,600 calories I'm burning on top of my resting state number. So if my resting state number is around 1,300, and I'm burning like 1,600 calories, that's 6, 7, 8, 9... That's like 2,900, it's almost like 3,000 calories. Is that what that number is? I'm sorry, I'm terrible at math and like talking off the top of my head. But that's like a pretty high number of calories for me to just break even. So I could, when I was working at the Gap and I was walking for 8 hours a day, back and forth, cleaning up, burning like, 200 calories an hour, times 8, 1,600 calories, plus my basal metabolic rate of 1,300 calories. Now I'm looking at close to 3,000 calories being burned. It's pretty simple that I could eat 3,000 calories and not gain weight. I'm not telling anybody to eat their basal metabolic rate number if they're extremely active, even if that active is just active in an office or walking around. Like you need to figure out what works for you, what your numbers are, and work from there. If anybody's proven that there's another way to do it, where a person like me can sit on my computer and just basically just like sit around all day and like I could eat like 3,000 calories of fruit and not exercise and I'm gonna lose weight magically, please, by all means, prove it to me. Like send me articles that prove that. Tell me that you've been doing it for 5 years and you've just been losing weight. Like prove it to me other than just tell me that I'm suggesting anorexia to people by telling them that it's like a formula. Thanks, Lois. So, hi guys, just saying hi again. So yeah, I didn't mean to get like carried away with that, but it's kind of just crazy to me that people are so aggressive and suggesting that like I'm telling people that everybody needs to eat 1,400 calories, and that I'm also suggesting, oh, thank you, and that I'm suggesting anything that would hurt anybody. I'm telling everybody out there to take out a calculator or search the online calculator for basal metabolic rate. Find out what your number is. Then figure out what your activity level is per day. If you don't know, you can make an estimate at 1.2 being the lowest to 1.9, and then multiply your number by that. So if your number is 1,300 at resting state, multiply it by 1.9. If you're on your feet all day, if you work for a moving company and you're constantly lifting things up and putting them down, or you're in a gym lifting things up, putting it down, training people, if you're even walking around a store cleaning all day, you're burning a lot of calories. So just be aware of what that number is and then work from there to create a minor deficit. That deficit doesn't have to be a 1,000 calorie a day deficit. That's completely unhealthy. They say at the Mayo Clinic and many other platforms that in order to lose weight, you have to create a deficit, and a healthy deficit is between 300 and 500 calories a day. The Mayo Clinic, like the one that's like big cancer cure company and all this stuff, I don't know if I trust them at everything, but they're a pretty reputable brand. They suggest a 500 calorie deficit a day for somebody losing weight. That's pretty general to say that, because somebody could get sick if they took a 500 calorie deficit, but that's the Mayo Clinic. And in my video, I was saying I had a 300 calorie deficit a day. And right now I'm doing somewhere between 100 and 300 at most, if anything, not at all. So it's pretty much just, people are just being crazy and leaving me comments and stuff in my video saying that I'm suggesting anorexia and all this stuff, but all I'm saying is to try to work out what your number is and then work from there and just be healthy, eat clean. Clean calories are easier for your body to burn, I'm aware of that, but it still is a calorie. I don't believe, because I think it's just a belief thing, because I have never heard proof that somebody can, like by science, that somebody can eat like 4 to 5,000 calories of carbohydrates, and just because they're fruit carbs, the body doesn't really burn it the same way as it does any other calorie, so they could eat like 5,000 calories of it. Nobody's ever proven that to me. I've just heard people say it. I've never read why the science of that would make any sense. Like, it just does not make sense to me how I could eat 40 mangoes in a one meal and that I'm just gonna be a stick, like, just because it's fruit. It's a calorie still. Gotta understand that. So if anybody has that information, all I'm asking is that they share it instead of just calling me like a jerk or something like that. Like, I even had somebody say, that was really sweet, but somebody said that they would like pass out if they ate 1,400 calories, and that they eat 24 calories a day and work out 3 times a week. And I asked how tall that person was. I think I'm talking about the right person here, because everybody's saying this 2,400 calorie number. And that person, I think, was like 5'9" or something. And I'm 5'2" and a half. What in the right concept does a person who's 5'2" and a half need to eat the same amount of calories as somebody who's 5'9" or 6 feet? Even if that person is 5'2" and a half and they're like jacked with tons of muscles, I'm not burning the same amount of calories at resting state as that person. So different diets for different people. Like, I wouldn't suggest somebody that's 4'5" eat the same amount of calories as me, or, you know, have the same amount of whatever as me. Like, it's just everybody's kind of different. And we're not even talking about other issues that add on to that. So while I like to look at the BMR as a base and the activity level as a base, there's also other things that come into play with weight loss, like, and just making it difficult. Like, some people have excess estrogen or estrogen dominance, or they have polycystic ovaries, or they have hypothyroidism. Like, my mom's hypothyroid, and she does not eat that much, and it's very, very difficult for her to lose weight. It's just like in our family. It's something that we've dealt with. There's other things that also hold people back too, involving blood sugar and stuff like that. So I think it's more toxic that there's people out there promoting this fantasy that there's just a one specific way of dieting and a certain calorie number that everybody needs to eat, and if you don't agree with it, you're a Nazi. Like, hey, so do I have cheat meals? If I have cheat meals, they're not really like, they're still, I don't feel like really cheat meals, because I never break out of the vegan diet. I'm always vegan. It's like I've never ever had any cheat meal that's not vegan, so that's one thing. Another type of cheat meal of having something that's more like junk food or cooked food, the only thing that I'll have is like nachos. When I'm in California and I go to Veggie Grill, which is a vegan fast food place, I'll get nachos and cheese, and it's about 1,200 calories just in that dish alone. And I can't do that clearly every day because that's insane. But when I was like on the healthier side, before I made that other video talking about the calorie deficit, I was like every other day in Veggie Grill eating those nachos. Like, I was having that on top of my normal calories, and then I saw how much calories was in it, and I was like, okay, I can't do that anymore. But sometimes I'll have cheat meals and stuff like that. I try to eat as clean as I can because I don't want my health to fall apart, and for me, my health, it's like I'm more fragile, I guess. Like, I have, if you look at my pictures from like 2008 when I was on that unhealthier side, I was only 21 years old, and I looked so much older. My skin was so much worse than it even is today. My hair was like a wreck. It looked like cotton candy. And even though like my hair's been bleached so much and it's still pretty healthy considering, like it just got highlighted yesterday and it doesn't look like it's like as bad as it did back in those days when I was only 21. I was overweight, and that was just like from not eating clean, like just eating what regular people eat. So I always have to watch it or else my health like deteriorates. So I have to make sure to get all my nutrients in and stuff every day. If you're eating more, you might be burning more than you realize. So, I mean, or if you feel like eating more. So if you're having 1,500 calories a day, and you still feel hungry for more food, there's a chance that you could be just burning a lot more calories than you realize, and that there's a bigger deficit that you're doing, and you might be able to do a smaller deficit and still eat more. But you might want to create a structure to it. So maybe you just write down the meals that you're eating every single day, the amount of calories that are in them, and then kind of like just structurize it out a little bit more so you know what you're doing and you know if you're overeating. I also would suggest, like, if you feel like you're overeating and you're craving stuff, like sometimes I'll just crave like a container of hummus, and instead of like, you know, and having chips or something like that, or veggie sticks and hummus, and I'll start to snack on that before I make a meal. and that just pushes my calories over a little too high. So instead I'll make like a big raw salad or something like that, something that's a little bit more filling. But if you're finding that you're more hungry, you might be burning more than you need to burn every day. So you could work that number out a little bit differently if that's the case. Like I said, like some people burn more calories than they realize just in their everyday life. Me, it's a very low number. Like you could talk to my fiance, my mom, like everybody knows not only do I have a slow metabolism, but I got like a little bit of a slow life. Like when I'm home and I'm working, I'm focusing on work. I'm on the computer. Like I don't really leave the house that much. I have to make it a point to go out for a walk. Like I'm not like walking all day. So for me, it's a very, having like 1,500 calories works for me. But like if I'm active that day and I'm bike riding, even if I go shopping for a couple hours and walk around the mall, like I feel the hunger feelings more and I know that I need more calories because I've burnt more. So if I'm active, even just doing things around the house, taking a little time off the computer and like moving around, I'll need to eat more because I'll burn too many calories. So try to make sure that you have like, if you're trying to lose weight, depending on what your goal is, try to create like between 100 to 300 to 500 calorie deficit per day. 500 is on the high side. So if you're going for 500, you might want to burn that in exercise than taking it out of your calories. If you're doing 100 calorie deficit, it's not too hard to do with diet. But I kind of do suggest burning more with exercise than cutting it out of the diet. For example, I could eat 1,500 calories and be on this computer all day and then just cut that, cut the calories out of what I'm eating. Or I could just leave the house for like 30 minutes and do sprints and burn a little bit more, and then I could eat a little more. When I was on Adderall, I actually gained weight. So I don't know how that happened because I think my metabolism is definitely different than most people. I was like, it wasn't even like I was hungry. I would just eat because I knew I should eat. And then for some reason when I would be on that Adderall and I'd start eating, like I didn't stop. I also drank alcohol and stuff like that. So back then, I gained a lot of weight while still in Adderall. When I went off of it, I didn't gain much weight. If anything, I lost. I did a cleanse, and that helped me. But I got to get rocking, so if you guys like this video, I did a whole video talking about this kind of topic, and it's going to be coming out in a couple hours. We're going to go head over to my grandma's, but leave me a comment. We'll continue the conversation there. I'll be responding for the next, hour and a half. But stay tuned and just come back tonight because I'm going to be posting a video talking more about this stuff. I'll see you guys later. Bye!